Hello everybody and welcome back to the University of Utah's PACG Overwatch broadcast week 2, coming to you guys live from the Einar Nielsen Fieldhouse Center at the University of Utah campus in Salt Lake City, Utah. We just got finished seeing an amazing game between ASU and your very own University of Utah. Do you want to give us a quick recap as to how that went down, Zader?
Unfortunately, ASU doing a clean sweep 4-0 to University of Utah. Definitely not the best performance that we saw from University of Utah, but it was definitely a very, very intense match. It was very close. In all of the games, we had overtime, I think, basically every single game that we ran through.
It was so close, but ASU just coming out on top just by a hair on every single turn. ASU definitely looking like the better team moving into this tournament for the two of them. Maybe Utah had a little bit of nerves. Maybe they were off their game. Doesn't really matter because ASU took a clean 4-0 against Utah.
4-0 was absolutely intense to watch. I hope you guys would, if you guys missed it, you're more than welcome to go back and watch that on the VOD that will be in the Twitch channel. But, however, we do see University of Utah. We will be seeing them play again very soon, and hopefully we can see a little bit more of a performance. But like we said, Arizona State is something to look out for, as those are maybe the two best teams that we have here in this whole PACG conference.
I completely agree with you, Zader. Coming into week 2, from what we've been, the limited amount of information that we have, seeing all these teams match up together, it looks like Arizona, University of Utah, and UCLA are going to be the top 3 teams. I expect to see those teams in the finals, but it's kind of too early to say. There may be some sleeper picks going out in the background. Maybe some other teams like Stanford may come back. Oregon, he's definitely a good team if they can get their coordination together. It's going to be an interesting tournament series to see all these teams from the Northern and the Western Division, Southern Division rather, come together and try and battle it out for a top dog.
Right, and I am so excited for you guys to actually see this Finals Friday. Like we said, it's going to be the most intense Friday that you'll ever see. It's going to have all 4 games showcased there for that Finals Friday. So again, that is something that you guys make sure you do not miss that Friday.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's going to be a lot of action. However, there is one thing that I wanted to mention that I noticed in the previous couple of games from all the Tracer players that are going on is that they are fluffing their pulse bombs over and over and over again. I mean, it is a difficult ability to land. It's a difficult ability to properly utilize. The Tracer ultimate is, but there are definitely... It's so impactful that I feel like if Utah or ASU had landed a majority of their pulse bombs, they would have been more capable to defend or push in either situation.
I do agree with you there. Those pulse bombs are very, very key key ultimates to use there in a fight. If you can pick off a support with that Tracer pulse bomb, that's your fight.
Yeah.
That's everything that you want to do. If you can pick off both supports, because generally they'll be a little bit grouped together, yeah, that is most definitely your fight. You're going to take that point. You're going to take that win. And that's what you want to do. Unfortunately, both of the Tracers we saw, both ADHD and Daddy J, this match, we weren't able to see them hit as many consistent pulse bombs. We did see a lot of sticks, but we didn't see a lot of key sticks, right? We saw the sticks that just like kind of there
on tanks,
here, right? You saw a stick on a tank, but you saw a stick on a support while they were still shoved back in the base, right? You know, it wasn't those sticks in the middle of a team fight that we really wanted to see.
Exactly, I completely agree. There are definitely some things that characters are capable of doing to utilize the pulse bomb better. Jumping before you blink is such an important factor. Not a lot of people know it, but the way that Tracer blinks is if she's on a straight line, it goes forward, but if you jump, her instance is there. And so then when you drop the pulse bomb, it's coming from above rather than below. It's easier to land on the target frame from above than it is on the feet.
I agree with you on that one. And now we are going to go ahead and move on into our next match that we have for you today. It is going to be Arizona versus USC, both teams here from the North region.
Yeah, USC. We have seen a lot of them, but they do not have a lot of diversity in their team, which seems to be a pitfall. As you can see on the screen, they have 4 tank mains and 2 support mains. They don't have a single DPS dedicated player on their entire front line, their entire opening run, should I say. Arizona, on the other, they have they have a lot more diversity. They have a tank main, they've got DPS mains, they've got support mains, they've got flex mains. Everything of Arizona can come together and work well.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. The diversity of USC isn't there. But however, quad tank.
Quad tank, yeah, that is a little scary.
But yeah, now we're going to go ahead and move on into the map selection that we have today. And it looks like the first map, again, will be Kings Row. However, I don't know how either of these teams really perform on Kings Row.
Yeah.
Kings Row is definitely a map that is really difficult. So we'll have to see which team really pulls out on top.
We don't have enough information on these two teams to see whether or not one of them just absolutely hates Kings Row. Kings Row seems to be the most infamous map in the pool moving into this tournament. It's, as we've been saying previously, notorious for its chokeholds and its lacking but impactful flanking opportunities. That's what makes it unique, in my opinion.
I agree with you for sure on that one, and like we said, the lack of the flanking. It's definitely really hard to play characters like a Tracer because you're very upfront with them. You're very direct, and as a Tracer, you can take a lot of damage when you're very direct. Yeah. You want to have those places to kind of go back to, right? You
Exactly.
want to be able to position your recall in a place where you can kind of get away. Unfortunately, with this map, there's not very many getaway places.
Yeah.
You're kind of just going to recall back into a very unfortunate
wide open
spot.
area. Exactly. I completely agree with you, Zader. When you have Tracer on the backline, your objective is to snipe supports. That's it. If you're in a Tracer 1v1, it's usually better, depending on the situation, there are obviously some exceptions, to just ignore the Tracer 1v1 and go after Mercy. If I see the enemy Tracer is trying to come after me, I'm just like, okay, like, you can shoot me as much as you want. I'll get a Lucio Zenyatta Harmony Orb, and then I can go take out your Mercy, and then you won't be able to push. Like, have fun shooting me. I don't care.
Yeah, that's definitely correct. So it'll definitely be really interesting to see exactly what comps we run here. We saw there in our last game, we did actually see the Tracers come out from both teams, but it'll be really interesting to see how these different teams kind of play out and see these different compositions. We've never seen really the same composition come out on every match.
On Junkertown, it was a mirror matchup. Both teams were against each other with identical team compositions. It looks like this one is going to be a lot more diverse, in my opinion. Expect some amazing diversity. As you can see right there into that hotel type looking thing is one of the few flanking opportunities, but it also is so impactful.
It definitely is a very impactful room. It is an impactful room for a Junkrat to sit in, and also a very impactful room to get on the high ground. That is one of your only opportunities to get on the high ground as a general character. If you have let's say a Widowmaker and Zarya is punching a wall. I don't know what the wall did to her, but why not?
Here we have Arizona moving out with Pharmacy comp on offense. Definitely a little bit of an off-meta pick, but I think it's going to be fantastic. I love that composition. Here we have USC running a little bit more standard with double tank.
Okay, double tank and that soldier on the high ground, going to be able to take care of that Pharah. Very good positioning. Pharah doing a really good job dishing out as much damage as possible.
I agree. iProgress doing a great job of diving into the backline. He has the supports and the tanks isolated. USC is a little bit flustered.
He's definitely spreading them all out. He's doing a very good job. He's kind of scaring him. USC needs to not be scared. They need to have confidence. They need to push in. And that is exactly what they're doing right now. Reinhardt getting 2 charge kills there, and Nemesis taking out Genji.
Not GM falls immediately on Genji. Looks like Solid Ghost right here on Zarya is going to do a fantastic job of using shield, mitigating damage, and pushing into the backline of Arizona.
Yeah, you know what? USC got a little bit scared there. They regrouped, they pulled together, and they got the kills that they needed to get. And here we see USC approaching at least 2 ultimates here very soon, Arizona having 1.
iProgress on his Pharah has his Rocket Barrage ultimate. He can pop this at any second onto these tanks right here. They are isolated.
He wants to put him in a corner, and it looks like he put him right into the corner that he needed to put him into.
iProgress immediately takes out Nemesis, but gets countered by Immortal. Immortal using that Tac Visor ultimate, taking out Yug's Mercy and taking out iProgress's Pharah, stopping her ultimate while it was in the middle of it. USC pushing them back into the spawn.
This is exactly what we want to see from USC. Arizona, unfortunately, not able to answer to this soldier. The soldier's dealing so much damage. iProgress definitely needs to switch off that Pharah. He's not able to get everything he needs to. He was only able to get 1 pick off of that Rocket Barrage.
This game has been so back and forth so far, so push and pull. The Arizona will take it a little bit, and then USC will push him back. Then USC will get pushed back, and Arizona will start to cap, and then USC counters. It is so interesting to see how these 2 individual team comps are fighting against each other on Kings Row Station.
And yeah, and then now we see, Nemesis with that Junkrat Rip Tire. He's going to look for a pick. He looks for 2 pancakes there on Bunyo, but Bunyo is able to kind of juke him out.
Misses both, however, and Moira survives. Bunyo is still alive and is able to heal and deal damage. Nemesis is kind of in an off position, although he has his Junkrat Tire. Not GM. Going to utilize that Coalescence and dive right here onto the backline of USC.
And it looks like, unfortunately, he's actually backing up on that one. Nemesis able to get the Pharah and the Moira. Absolutely huge picks. Bunyo and iProgress definitely not in a position that they wanted to be in.
And Kaden on Reinhardt dives into the backline and destroys Agent Snow's Winston. Great defense from USC. Arizona is not seeming to get anything off. 1 minute remaining moving into this first point.
Yeah, USC doing a really good job at holding this point in here, making sure that no one can really get in, nobody can get through, and anytime you do get through, you're going to get denied.
Exactly. USC having such a good composition, looking so powerful. Immortal, four members of USC has their ultimates with the exception of Immortal and Nemesis.
And here we see another push here coming in from Arizona. Arizona is actually able to push all of USC off the point. Bunyo is the only one sitting on the point. USC has nobody on the point. It looks like he might be able to get 1 tick here. No, USC is able to get on the point.
USC pops that Daria Graviton Surge ultimate in the back and sucks everyone towards them. Only 1 person was remaining on the point, and that wasn't enough to cap it as quickly as they could have been. Kings Row seems to be infamous today for having millimeters remaining on the cap.
And it looks like it's going to be 1 final push here from Arizona. Hopefully 2, if they can trickle in and do the best they can. Like you said, they got that tick. They almost got that tick, but unfortunately they did not get it. They will have to try to get a tick here.
2 ultimates for USC, none for Arizona. I don't know if they're going to be able to use this. Nemesis retaining his Junkrat ultimate. Arizona has got 10 seconds left to push onto the point. It's contested 2-1.
Arizona needs to push in here. Immortal using his tactical visor, taking out that Mercy. That is a very key pick. Taking out Zarya, taking out Bunyo. Immortal with a very brilliant tac visor, completely wiping out the attack of Arizona. Arizona is not even able to get a tick.
Look at that kill feed on the right. It was nothing but blue all day. USC doing an amazing job of holding on to their ultimates. That tac visor popped just in time, and he immediately picked out such key targets. He took out the support, he took out the Genji, he isolated the tanks and allowed the rest of his team to push in and just start dealing damage.
Yeah, that positioning from Immortal was absolutely perfect. He took the he took the high ground exactly when he needed to. He used his tactical visors in the correct places. He was able to have full vision of everybody at all times. I actually don't believe that Immortal got picked off once that entire defense, and that is something that I have not seen in a very long time. And actually, I'm going to give you a little bit of a sneak peek of the team composition coming out here from the infamous Quad Tank team.
The Quad Tank team is going to be running.
Actually, it's 5 tanks. I was wrong. I don't know how to count.
5 tanks. Okay. So the problem with Pentatank? Pentatank? Septatank? I don't know what the prefix is for that is, but the problem with running 5 tanks is that you are incapable of having enough healing. You have to have more than 1 healer. That being said, Moira and Lucio are capable of doing ridiculous amounts of healing. But tanks don't have a lot of damage without their ultimates, the exceptions being D.Va with her self-destruct, Roadhog with his whole hog, and then Zarya. If she can get a great Graviton Surge, it'll pull it all together and actually allow a team to do good amounts of damage, providing that support doesn't get picked off.
That is correct. And actually, as I said that, they literally switched to Bastion. So now they are running a quad tank Bastion Lucio, which is going to be a very interesting thing to see. And here we go, going to go ahead and move on directly to this match.
It's so immobile. He actually switches off Bastion, going back to Pentatank. We'll call it that from now on.
I have no idea what they plan on doing with this, but if they're able to push into this point and take it, I guess it works. And here we see them absolutely steamrolling. Nobody is taking damage. Solid Ghost is the only person who's taking damage from USC. They are pushing onto this point, and they are an unstoppable force. That Reaper coming in, getting completely destroyed.
By Ding Pai, he eliminates not GM. Reaper is the hard counter to this composition, and they had Reaper. It just wasn't enough. It looks like this tank composition is working out.
They are not able to do enough damage. However, they are able to live longer than anybody is able to do anything. And it looks like they actually are going to be able to take this point. iProgress needs to drop down and contest this point. Unfortunately, he's going to get picked off.
Not enough.
Done.
Oh my. Jeez Louise. Like, I am speechless. That was, I think they just took him by surprise, but at the same time,
box.
At the same time, they didn't, because they had their their Reaper. He was there the entire time. He just wasn't capable of dealing as much damage as he said. Let's take a quick look at Immortal with that great hiding down there in the stairwell, and then comes out, pops his Tac Visor ultimate. I knew this would be play of the game. As you can see, he eliminates every single priority target for USC.
So, apparently 5-tank works.
New
Would
meta?
have known.
New meta?
I don't. The new meta.
5-tanks?
Start playing 5-tanks.
That shouldn't have worked. It did work. I mean, I feel like because they had such little to actually push, because they were only I think they only got it past the first tick on the previous push.
Yeah. So the previous push, they actually weren't able to actually get a tick again.
Yeah.
Like you said, it was that small hair away. So unfortunately, Arizona only had to they had to defend one tick. Unfortunately, USC was able to push in for that one tick. Very easy.
That's what I meant to say, rather, was that USC only had to push it to the first tick. That's not a lot of progress that you can do. If you are capable of having displacement characters like for example, Junkrat, that's a good displacement character. He can throw down his pancake bomb. He'll knock people away. He creates space. He creates opportunities. If you have 5 tanks walking onto the point and you just have Roadhog hooking people in, and then Reinhardt slaps him in the face with a hammer, like, that's actually a ridiculous amount of damage on squishy characters. Even though they had Reaper, it just wasn't enough.
Right, I definitely agree with you there. The Reaper, it got picked off too soon. Too soon to get picked off. That Reaper needed to live more. If that Reaper was able to live more, he would have been able to get that Roadhog. He would have been able to get that. I believe they had a Winston too. That's two very easy targets for Winston for Reaper to focus. And unfortunately, that Reaper got hooked by the Roadhog and immediately went down. I don't know where his Wraith form was, but apparently he just didn't have it.
Yeah, props to Ding Pai on Roadhog, though, with an amazing hook eliminating that priority target. Great target decision-making from USC. That was so surprising. I mean, in spite of all of that, the composition that they were running was actually pretty mobile. Diva's got her jet boosters. Winston's got his leap. Reinhardt's got his charge. Everything that they had was capable of getting onto the point, and then the fact that they have just high amounts of team HP didn't allow the Arizona to make any changes that they needed. They realized that, hey, I only have to push 33%. If I get on this point, you guys are incapable of pushing it off unless you guys blind pick Pharah, Roadhog, Reaper, and just other ridiculous amounts of damage, and they didn't. They were running a standard composition, and USC having the presence of mind to counterpick that with 5 tanks. I am so surprised and so impressed by that play from USC.
Yeah, definitely something that you don't expect to see ever. I don't think Arizona really would.
They didn't understand it.
I
don't
have
understand
never
it.
seen a 5 tank. I would have never seen a 5 tank coming. I wouldn't have ever said, like, this team's gonna go 5 tank. Let me go Pharah, Junkrat, and like high DPS, characters, high burst, high DPS, shield breakers, whatnot. But you just don't know that. You don't know these things.
In most games, it's like, oh, they might run a Tracer, they might run a Genji. We'll have to pick based off of that. No one goes, I wonder if they're going to run 5 tanks or not. That just doesn't happen in the minds of any player. So I don't necessarily blame Arizona for not being capable of stopping them. I give 100% of the benefit of that push to USC and smart decision-making, taking 5 tanks.
Yeah, and it looks like we are going to go ahead and move on to Temple of Anubis here in just a minute. Unfortunately, it looks like we had a disconnect, so we're going to have to hold on in just a second on this one. But we're going to go ahead and just keep talking about this match that we just witnessed. Again, like, we just can't stop talking about that 5 tank. We can't stop talking about that amazing hold from USC.
Yeah, I mean, even the thing, though, is that both teams did such a fantastic job with Arizona on defense, Arizona on offense, USC on defense, with Immortal taking the Soldier 76 with that placement in the corridor with the stairwell with his Tac Visor. He came out and eliminated it. That defensive hold from USC was fantastic. They didn't get 1 tick, and that's not to say that Arizona was doing something wrong. Arizona was getting on the point. They were doing everything that they had. They just got outplayed a little bit. Lack of information, lack of vision, lack of control.
Yeah, correct. Like we said, iProgress was doing a really good job spacing everybody out, making sure that the team was kind of spread out, getting really good picks. He did have a really good rocket barrage there towards the middle of the game. And unfortunately, he wasn't able to find anybody because he got immediately countered there from Immortal. Immortal found him, took him out.
Yeah, I agree. And then it came down to that final push when they only had the one character on the point, and then Zarya, they were all trying to push him back. They realized, like, hey, all we have to do is leave one character on the point, and if we can just keep them messed up in their backline, they're not going to be capable of pushing through us just because we're so beefy. Zarya's like, Graviton surged, dropped it all, landed all 5 characters with the exception of the one on the point, and then they just cleaned house.
I do agree with you on that one. That clean house was, I mean, it was perfect. USC had everything in line and did everything that they needed to do, and Immortal on that soldier was doing a very, very good job. And, you know, it's definitely something really interesting to see, you know, with that soldier there on King's Row instead of the Widowmaker, because that Widowmaker is really key to kind of get really nice picks as far as defense goes and halt that offense.
Yeah, I agree with you. It looks like they may be having to sub out their character. I can't remember which character, player for USC rather got disconnected. However, they are just going to put in a sub. It looks like King of Mars is going to be the sub. Probably falling in fashion with USC. He probably plays tank.
He most likely plays tank. You know, we'll just have to see exactly what goes on here. Hopefully, they'll be able to do just as well with that substitute coming in. We'll just have to see. But you know, USC, they already showing that they are a strong team. Their substitutes
hopefully
most likely are going to be no different.
Yeah, looks like we are capable of moving right back into the game. Here we can see that they're starting to pick their team comps a little bit. iProgress for Arizona taking that Widowmaker. She is so strong on Temple of Anubis.
Yeah, you know, and that Widowmaker, iProgress, we saw her on Pharah, and now we see him on Widowmaker, definitely choosing a little bit of a different pick. We also see Immortal back on that soldier there for USC as far as that attack goes.
And I stand corrected. It looks like King of Mars is going to be playing Mercy on offense. I agree with that pretty well. Here we're going to go and take a quick look at the map overview for a second. You can see those straight lines that really favor Widowmaker play, and then the close choke points that's going to favor the Junkrats. It's going to favor the Reinhardts. It's going to be taking advantage of up close high AoE burst damage from wherever it may come. It can be Mei, which we've seen in the past. It can be Reaper. It can be Torbjorn. It can be anything.
It really can be anything that you really want it to be. Arizona coming out with a really interesting composition here as far as the hold goes. You know, we're not seeing a lot of their big beefy tanks. You normally see Reinhardt Roadhog here, but we're seeing that Zarya and that Reinhardt instead. So we're definitely going to have to see what we can do. They're definitely running that Junkrat, which is a very good pick.
iProgress in the backline. Great job of being Widowmaker in this. It looks like USC is going to be roaming Pharmacy comp, which is hard countered by Widowmaker.
Yeah, it definitely is. If you take out that Mercy, unfortunately, that fire does become a little bit useless. Immortal did make a switch there to Tracer. He's looking for that Widowmaker, but it looks like he might just kind of slip out of that. No.
Ooh, iProgress, my man. Tracer, she had the good luck on Immortal and tried to dive onto iProgress. iProgress putting the Kayabosh on that one with an immediate headshot denial. That is such great reaction time from iProgress on Arizona.
Absolutely amazing reaction time. It's going to halt, or it's definitely going to halt USC's push here for sure. And Nemesis, of course, is getting taken down by iProgress as well. iProgress doing a very good job on this Widowmaker. And here we see the Riptire.
Oh, getting caught there in the corner a little bit. I'm not sure if that's intentional or not. Looks like it was unintentional. Not GM moving in here. However, he hit Solid Ghost while he was taking a breather. Not a lot of people may be aware of the fact that when Roadhog takes a breather, he takes ridiculous amounts of reduced damage. iProgress, a clean headshot on Nemesis.
Yeah, you know, it doesn't matter what Nemesis is on. Pharah, Junkrat, regardless, Nemesis is going to be taken out, it looks like. Looks like that Tracer also, we can see just like that Shadow looking for that Widowmaker.
Not GM looking for an opportunity here, trying his best to put damage onto the tank line for USC.
And here we see he's spamming that shield very well. He's doing everything that he can. Arizona's doing a very good job of holding this point, compared to the Kings. And here we see the beat drop. Here go USC doing a full push.
Not GM, incapable of doing lots of damage because of that sound barrier. Immortal getting pushed off the back. However, iProgress takes out Dingpai. Arch and Snow takes out Kaden. iProgress again takes out Solid Ghost with a clean headshot. That is the end of that push. USC incapable of stopping Arizona.
And we see Immortal with a really good pulse bomb, taking out Agent Snow. There is one tank down, and unfortunately that res is what they needed. And Arizona, it looks like iProgress, they just needed him on that Widowmaker. If they put him on that Widowmaker, they all of a sudden started defending so well. Arizona's doing such a good job.
Not GM has his Junkrat tire. That's going to stop USC from getting any amount of progress on this payload, in my opinion, unless it gets taken out.
Yeah, here we see Arizona doing a really good defense. USC is going to start this push here with the Junkrat tire, unfortunately getting sniped.
Progress. You are so impressive on Widowmaker, man. I am loving this commitment to the map awareness, honestly.
Yeah, you know, iProgress got 3 really crucial picks there as well. iProgress is doing a very good job on this Widowmaker. He's denying all of USC's pushes. USC needs to have an answer for this Widowmaker, and you know what that answer is? It would be a Widowmaker for this map specifically. They cannot reach her. You need a Widowmaker to have that long range.
Just as you're saying that, Nemesis switches off to Widowmaker. Let's see who's going to be better, because as we well know, Nemesis, he's a tank main.
All right, and you know, Nemesis is going to be really interesting to see exactly what's going on. Here we see the Widow battle. iProgress unfortunately is losing that one, going really low. Caden actually getting a fire strike on him.
That is ridiculous. Caden doing an amazing job. I don't think it's enough though. Arizona immediately countering and taking out 2 people. King of Mars with a res on Ding Pai though.
Woo! And Nemesis taking out iProgress. Unfortunately, Nemesis getting taken out by Bunnyo with that Coalescence. Not GM taking out Reinhardt.
Agent Snow falling really quickly. Immortal getting that clutch sound barrier, trying to do as much damage as he possibly can. USC moving on to the point, but Arizona holding it strong with 4 characters.
This is Arizona's push that they need. This is Arizona's defense that they really need to see right now. Looks like they were able to get a very good Graviton Surge there on basically all of USC on the point.
Solid Ghost counters with her Diva ultimate, and then the Caden drops his Earth Shatter, landing a majority of it. It looks like USC is capable of moving on to the point. 4 characters dropped for Arizona, 2 respawning right now. It's just Argent Snow. It's down to this solo Reinhardt. Oh, and he gets his Earth Shatter countered.
Yeah, unfortunately not able to find anything with that Earth Shatter, but this defense is not over. Arizona still has people up. iProgress can touch the point. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to. This point most likely will fall. It looks like Arizona is falling back to the second point. USC with a great final push, answering that iProgress Widow with their own Widow as well, and eventually switching off back to Junkrat.
USC finally capable of making something happen on first point Temple of Anubis, but they only have 3 minutes and 50 seconds remaining to take this. That is not a lot of time, especially since they do not have any of their ultimates that work well with Tracer.
And
Looks like she fluffs her pulse bomb.
Fluffed.
We talked about that. She fluffs her pulse bomb.
You know, we have not seen the greatest pulse bomb sticks here, and we want to see more of those. Honestly, I would like to see more of those.
It's a little embarrassing. It's so easy to just walk up and put it on a tank and kill a support and the tank. There's no excuse for missing that. You have to land your pulse bombs if you want to win the game. USC moves on to the point.
Arizona does not have a res here for this fight. It looks like they just used it on that Moira, so it looks like they are going to be 1 down. Not GM getting a pick on Ding Pai.
Arizona doing as good a job as they can with this Pharmacy comp. Nemesis falling immediately to Not GM, however countered by Solid Ghost with his missile shots.
And here we see Agent Snow coming back in with that Reinhardt, hopefully looking for something. iProgress does have that Rocket Barrage on this defense. He will be able to find something here, most likely, if he needs to. Solid Ghost finally getting taken down.
An amazing hold by Arizona. It looks like it's just Immortal. He probably needs to back off before he dies. Great. Oh, 10 HP. Oh, iProgress with the prediction shot and hits Tracer just as she blinks. That is fantastic to see that happen. Amazing game sense by iProgress and great work on the pocket healings from Yugs.
iProgress is doing such a good job on this fair right now. It is an absolute wonder to see him do so good right now. It looks like he was faltering there a little bit on King's Row, but he is showing his colors now as he spams this chokehold.
Looks like Immortal for USC actually has his pulse bomb up relatively quickly. It takes a while to get that off. Ding Pai using his shield barrier. Good and brief, trying to push onto the point is USC, countered by a hammer down. Immortal finally sticking the pulse bomb.
And here we see the Trifering throwing out that Graviton Surge on 3 of the members there of USC. Unfortunately, USC is not going to be able to push on this. They're going to have to regroup and try one more time. They do have 2 minutes left.
They had such a good opportunity. USC tried to move on the point. Immortal doing exactly what I asked him to do. He took out a tank and he took out a support with a single pulse bomb. It just wasn't enough. That Zarya ulti by Tirefing was enormously impactful on stalling USC.
You are completely correct on that one. iProgress getting shoved off at the high ground there by Winston and Diva. He's going to have to back up a little bit. He's going to be able to spam those bombs as much as possible, though. Diva looks like is eating a majority of them, however.
Diva, a really good counter pick to Pharah. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough, though, as Diva kind of overextends a little bit and gets tied up in the backline of Arizona.
And you see Not GM here with that Riptire ready. He's going to be able to, he's going to have a great ultimate use here just to be able to use it. He looks like he throws a pancake out looking for something. iProgress getting 2 picks there.
phenomenal, phenomenal hold from Arizona. That pancake bomb from Not GM's Junkrat did so much HP damage to the squishies of USC, and then Agent Snow, rather, my bad, Agent Snow landed a convincing, powerful flame strike that just cleaned up the rest of the USC backline.
And, you know, USC does have, it looks like 5 ultimates coming in here for it looks like what most likely will be their last push into overtime. Hopefully they're not going to get picked off here. By iProgress is fair. He looks like he's going to have to back off.
He overextended, but immediately gets back. Really good job of having good mobility on an immobile character. What is fair? Nemesis popping a attack visor right there. Not able to do much, countered by the shield from Agent Snow.
Here you see Not GM trying to use a Riptide there. Nemesis taking out that Riptide. Agent Snow also getting taken down. Arizona kind of faltering on this defense. iProgress, it looks like he's the only one alive here able to defend this point. He's going to have to do everything again. Here throws out the Rocket Barrage.
USC throws out, USC is getting onto the point. It's just not enough. Countered by iProgress's Rocket Barrage, like you were saying, Zader. Arizona is still holding a millimeter away.
And here we go again with this millimeter tech. They only need ever so slightly, just more. And it looks like they're not able to get it. It looks like they're going to get pushed off the point. It looks like they're so close to getting this completely capped.
Arizona does such a good job of stalling them. 4 people, 5 people fall for USC. I don't think they're going to be able to do it. Get on the point, USC. It's not enough. It's not enough. That just seems to be today's theme. Getting it within just such a tiny amount of progress. USC got gypped out of a victory there, in my opinion. They did such a good job of moving onto the point, and then they just got stalled.
And looking at that score screen, we saw a solid 99%. They needed 1%. I am not even kidding you. That doesn't even take half a second to get 1%.
It doesn't. The programming doesn't show quarter of percentages, so that could have been even less than 1%. It just says it's 1%. It could have been less.
That is correct, and you know, like I said, it is minimal amounts of time to get that 1%. Feels bad, but again, you got to give credit to the defense. It is not just the offense's fault. That defense is so perfectly timed. They did such a good job of getting right back on the point exactly when they needed to. They did everything that they should have done, and it'll be definitely really interesting to see if, you know, Arizona can push all the way to that 99% point. They will need to get 99%. That bar will stay there.
So basically, they have to do a complete double cap.
It is basically a full cap. So hopefully we will be able to see something really brilliant here coming out from Arizona, and also a very solid defense here from USC. USC is definitely doing a very good job. They have good pushes. They have good team coordination. They need to hold this.
But we've seen Arizona be completely flawless on all of their defenses so far. But Arizona, let's talk about Agent Snow, iProgress, and Not GM. Those are the big 3 on this Arizona team comp. They have been just so good in any role that they get thrown into. iProgress's Widowmaker, he's rivaling Raxley, he's rivaling Daddy J. He is such a strong character. I was not expecting such a good player to be on this team, but they are all just fantastic. They are impressing me so much. Arizona is a team to watch out for.
Yeah, definitely a team to watch out for. I definitely do agree with you. And we're going to go ahead and jump right into the game as we have USC here on the defense and Arizona coming out with the attack. Agent Snow running that Reinhardt. They're going to go ahead and push left.
USC running Torbjorn on defense, not going to be doing very much damage as Arizona immediately moves into this corridor right here and allows Agent Snow to use that barrier. However, it is falling incredibly fast.
Shield got extremely destroyed there. Looks like Not GM getting hit with an anti-grenade, not able to get very many healing. He's going to have to spam the shield as much as possible, and they're falling dangerously low.
The Anapic is so good at stalling defense. Nemesis sniping iProgress with a Helix rocket.
Yeah, you know, Nemesis doing a really good job keeping iProgress out of the game here. Trifling getting hooked there by Solid Ghost. Solid Ghost doing a really good job as Reinhardt. Bunio looking like the only one here really alive to push on to this point. Actually, no, I was wrong. Looks like Yugi's still alive too. Looks like Arizona is going to have to push back on this, however.
USC with a really good job. They lost their Torbjorn. However, it just didn't seem to be enough for Arizona to make any type of push happen onto the point. They got stalled. They got denied by USC. Great work.
Oh, iProgress getting killed again. He got hooked. He got pulled. He got shot. He got rocketed. Everything came out for iProgress there.
They're just hunting him like a hound. They are not going to let iProgress do anything this game. We're over about 2.5 minutes in, and iProgress has not got a single ultimate.
Yeah, you know, iProgress really getting shut down here. They're not letting iProgress do anything here. That is a very good job. They know who they need to counter. They know who they need to be taken care of. iProgress, if he gets a pick here, he will, this will turn the tides.
Not GM holding onto his Junkrat tire, waiting for his tanks to push out in front before he uses it. It should be any second now for her to pop it. They are all combined. This is a perfect opportunity. He falls down to 4 HP. He's got to use it soon or he is going to die.
Oh, and it looks like Solid Ghost is going to take advantage of not GM being so low. It looks like the Molten Core coming out from Torbjorn. I don't know where that turret is, but it looks like Torbjorn was just looking to survive there, unfortunately getting taken out by Trifling.
Yeah, amazing work from Arizona, forcing that Torbjorn to pop his ultimate in a situation when he didn't want to. I think his turret was actually dead when he popped it. That's not anything you want to have happen as a Torbjorn player. That turret in stage 3 with the Molten Core does godly amounts of damage.
It really does, and you know, here we see USC with 4 ultimates coming out, almost 5. Caden, 3%, 2% here from the ultimate. Arizona having 2%, 2 ultimates, and it looks like Moira Coalescence coming out directly, and iProgress is going to get countered directly by Nemesis by that attack visor.
Attack visor coming out from Nemesis, doing a fantastic job. Snipes Eox, snipes iProgress. That's the support and the main DPS down for USC. They're not going to have, for Arizona rather, they're not capable of doing anything to stall this.
Yeah, here we see Agent Snow trying to catch Nemesis. They're out of position. Nemesis is able to get back into position, able to get behind them, dealing a lot of damage.
He had his ultimate right there, but he was clever to not use it. He understood that there was only 2 characters to back him up, and one of them was a tank. Had he used his Earth Shatter, nothing would have come from it.
You see Nemesis did get taken out there, unfortunately, but it looks like USC is still going to be able to hold this push. Nemesis will be back as soon as possible. iProgress switching down to Genji instead of that Widowmaker as he was getting hard countered. And here goes
Zarya.
Arizona's push.
Zarya pops that Graviton Surge right there, and Yuke's immediately takes out King of Mars. However, it is Arizona using their Sound Barrier ultimate. USC airdropping like flies.
USC is not able to hold this final push here from Arizona. Arizona's doing a very great job. iProgress doing a really good job getting in the back lane. That hammer down coming out from Agent Snow, able to get almost the entire team of USC. USC is going to fall to Agent Snow.
Fantastic job from Agent Snow, having the presence of mind to hold on to that Earth Shatter for a better opportunity. Not panic using it, not using it when he's not supposed to. 20 seconds left when Arizona takes that first point. They will have to get an entire cap on USC to be capable of winning Temple of Anubis.
They will need that full 99%. It will be very interesting to see if they can even, if they can push in on this. They do have 4 minutes. They will have basically the same amount of time that USC had to push onto this point. Let's see what they decide to do here.
Arizona deciding to take this left flank route. Not GM holding his Junkrat tire, and Agent Snow in front with that shield. Going to be taking a majority of the damage. Not GM still holding on to his ultimate.
Yeah, here we go. Not GM doing a really good job, you know, holding on to that ultimate, waiting for the perfect time, and unfortunately not able to really find anything.
Look at where he died. He's so far in front of his team. There's no excuse to be that far out. It is so easy to just pop that tire, run up a wall, and destroy the team. Real big mistake from Not GM.
Extremely out of position there from Not GM. Definitely making that
Nemesis.
fight. Man,
Nemesis is the nemesis of this Arizona team. Popping that tack visor and slaughtering that entire push. Every single character falls down or falls back. Arizona is going to have to regroup with 3 minutes left.
And here we go. iProgress still on that Genji, 5% from his ultimate. Looks like Arizona is going to have possibly 3 or 4 ultimates coming in on this next push. Hopefully they're able to do something about it. Nemesis now does have that Dragon Blade, and he's probably going to look to combo with either Reinhardt or Zarya. Let's see what they're going to do here. USC does not have any ultimates.
He should hold on and wait for the Earth Shatter. He should hold on and wait for the Earth Shatter. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to do anything. Coalescence popping out from Ding Pai.
Yeah, USC using as many ultimates as they can. They know USC has a, Arizona has a big push here. And here we go. There's a mess of everything going on right now. Arizona looking like they have the top here. Not GM in progress, getting people with their ultimates.
iProgress pops that ultimate, that Dragon Blade, immediately taking 3 people out. Agent Snow retains his Earth Shatter, and he just got rest. He drops it. 3 people down. Arizona is moving on to the point.
Lucio ultimate dropped from USC. King of Mars having a very key drop the beat there. Able to keep everybody alive from USC. USC is going to have the full team here. They're going to push onto Arizona. Arizona has no ultimates. USC has no ultimates.
This is an absolute back and forth. No team able to deal damage. These tanks are doing such a good job. Not GM finally getting that flanking opportunity that he's looking for, as well as iProgress. He gets tied up in the backline by Immortal's turret, and he falls.
Yeah, Immortal doing a really good job keeping that turret setup. You know, not GM doing a really good job sitting in this back lane. He's actually doing a very good job killing the entire team of USC right now. Nemesis using that ultimate eye progress, reflecting basically all of it. Nemesis is going to fall.
Bunny-Yo res eye progress, and eye progress is able to put damage onto the backline. Nemesis falls. King of Mars falls. Dingpai just barely got back. Not GM is on the point, putting damage after damage into Cadence Winston.
Yeah, it looks like Arizona actually is going to be able to take this point. It looks like Dingpai left one on the point.
It's 6-0. They've got 6 people on.
As they're doing everything they can. It looks like the Doomfist is now coming out. They're pulling everything out that they can. They need everything that they can to get back to the point as fast as possible. 74%.
They're trickling in. It's rapidly approaching that marker. And the Earth Shatter to secure the victory. Arizona with the double cap on Temple of Anubis. That is nearly impossible to do. But Arizona actually making it happen. Tyrfing with that Zarya ultimate was stupendous.
It was absolutely amazing. Arizona using every single ultimate that they could there on that push there for the second point. They were able to eventually get it. Arizona definitely coming out here saying that King's Row probably wasn't our best map, but you know, how about this 2CP?
1-1 for these two teams. Temple of Anubis, in my opinion, the more difficult of the two maps, and Arizona making it happen. USC was capable of running that 5-tank composition on Kings Row. They pushed in, they got it. It is now 1-1, the first non-clean sweep that we've seen in this entire tournament series.
You are completely correct. This is definitely a closer match than we have seen all day today, and it is definitely something that has been a lot of fun to watch. Arizona and USC, very evenly matched teams, very fun to watch. And you know, we saw, you know, iProgress pulling out that Widowmaker. Amazing job.
In spite of the disconnect that went on, King of Mars, who was the sub for USC, he was running Lucio there at that last point. His sound barrier ultimate usage, he dropped that ever so flawlessly. It happened just as Agent Snow used his Earth Shatter ultimate on Reinhardt. He completely countered it. He did not allow any damage to go onto his team, and he ended up stalling that point for maybe another 25 seconds on the back of Lucio alone. So it looks like this sub pick of King Mars is not being that big of a detriment to the team. In spite of that, they did fall.
Yeah, and you know, it's really unfortunate that they did have to sub, you know, that player out. It looks like they're actually going to bring their main player back in. I can't remember his name, but it looks like King of Mars is being swapped out again. You know, very unfortunate to see that happen there for USC. It looks like their main player is back, so it'll be really interesting to see exactly what USC will be able to do here. And it looks like yeah. So they have subbed out. It looks like Kang Bang has came in for USC, replacing King of Mars.
Yeah, King of Mars. Actually, It was good to see him do such a good job. This King Bang GG person is going to have to do such a good job of filling the role that King of Mars left for him. He was on point with those sound barrier ultimates. I'm not sure if this person plays tank. I'm not sure if this person plays support, but I think 2 supports might help their team composition a little better than 5 tanks. But I could just be stupid. Like, I don't know anything.
You never know. USC has been surprising us with everything that they have done today. You know, Nemesis showing that he can play Soldier as well as Immortal. You know, 2 very well-rounded Soldier players there.
Absolutely.
And it looks like our next map here, it looks like is going to be Lijiang Tower as we get this all set up in Lijiang Tower. We're definitely seeing a lot of the same maps come in, you know, throughout all of these games.
Yeah.
We see Lijiang Tower, we see King's Row, we see, I believe this is the second time we've seen Temple of Anubis as well. Yeah. This is the, you know, and most likely, you know, as far as those hybrid maps, we might see Junkertown again. You know, we might see, who knows? Yeah,
the thing is that the losing team does get to pick the next map. So it seems that a vast majority of these teams have the same favoring. They like the same maps, which is good. That means that they are all kind of on the same page on how the meta stands, on what characters are good on what maps, and they're taking advantage of that. When all these teams pick the same maps to play on, that just tells me that these teams are good.
These teams are definitely 2 very evenly matched and very well-rounded teams. It will definitely be interesting to see how they match up with a little bit of the higher skill level teams like Utah, UCLA, and Arizona State. That is correct.
Yeah, here we're going to have the quick overview of Lijiang Tower. It looks like you can see there are some good flanking opportunities. However, Lijiang is infamous and well known for being an incredible close quarter map. You see a lot of Pharah, you see a lot of Reaper, you see a lot of Junkrat specifically on these type of King of the Hill maps.
Yeah, you'll also probably see a lot of Moira, as a lot of these points are closed off. So you know that ball has a lot of places to bounce off. But however, as I say that, we don't see Moira from either team.
Arizona, iProgress, and Yugs are both going to be running the Pharmacy comp, one of my all-time favorites. USC is choosing a more standard. Ding Pai immediately getting sniped by iProgress. This is exactly what I was talking about. It is so powerful on Lijiang Tower.
iProgress doing a very good job to getting those solid picks. Bunio booping Solid Ghost right off the edge.
I completely agree with you. Bunio destroying the tank line, which is kind of unique to Lucio. He is one of the few characters that can destroy tanks with his boop ability on this map.
Yeah, you are completely correct. It looks like Arizona is going to take this point and is going to have to be the first one to hold it. And unfortunately, Progress getting taken out by Immortal. It looks like USC is opting to take the double hit scan against iProgress, and it is working.
They realize that Pharmacy comp is potent. They run Immortal on Soldier 76. They're running Solid Ghost on McCree. They are pushing onto this point. Nemesis and Kaden. Nemesis is popping off, takes out NotGM, takes out Agent Snow. It looks like USC rather, is going to retake this point.
Definitely very nice to see USC come back, take this back, double hit scan, double tank, double healer. They're running the 2-2-2, and that sub, it looks like, has been very crucial to them. It looks like Nemesis is back on that tank and doing everything that he can do. This is what we wanted to see.
This is an amazing team composition from USC, completely designed to stop this Pharmacy comp of iProgress and Yugs. They have definitely done their homework on what their opponents are playing.
For sure, and it looks like USC is going to have to run back to the point here. It looks like he's going to find iProgress immediately. iProgress is going to try to take out that soldier. Not able to find anybody with that rocket barrage. Complete waste.
Great positioning from Immortal there. However, an Earth Shatter just barely came down. I don't think it's going to be enough. Arizona is falling.
Arizona using a lot of ultimates there, not really able to get any sort of a push. It looks like USC is able to hold that. All of Arizona's ultimates have been wasted. iProgress switching off of that Pharaoh because he sees that double hit scan. He does not like it.
That is not a good situation to be in when you're trying to retake the point and they use their ultimates on you and you use your ultimates on them and then you lose. That means you have no potential to push back onto the point. You don't have that ultimate power that is so crucial.
You have to use all those ultimates getting in. Here we see great zoning ultimate from Solid Ghost, getting that Mercy. Immortal coming out with his capitalizer now.
A little bit of an overkill in my opinion. Immortal and Solid Ghost both using their ultimates. That's 100% of the damage on USC. Arizona has NotGM's Junkrat tire and they have the sound barrier. They have 30% rather left to cap this. They're going to have to make something happen and make it happen quickly.
And they are being punished for pushing so far forward. It looks like Immortal is getting taken down. However, Arizona has less players. They are getting taken down for back there in that spawn. They are now able to push back a little bit farther forward. We're going to have to see what Arizona wants to do here.
I completely agree with you there, Zader. USC, Nemesis in particular, doing a great job of destroying the backline. He destroys NotGM as he tries to get onto the point. Arizona is trying their best to move in on this point. Lijiang Night Market.
There is 5% left here on this point. It looks like the Transcend is coming in, able to protect that Baby Diva. Kaden doing a really good job picking up the supports. Here we see Arizona coming out with the Graviton Surge.
Tirefing using that Graviton Surge ultimate, not doing a ridiculously good job, however, is USC. They clean up the backline in spite of being Graviton Surged, and they hold the point on Lijiang Night Market. USC got ulted right there by Tirefing and Zarya. They didn't even care. It didn't even phase them that they just got sucked in, all 6 of them basically. They didn't stop. They were flawless.
Yeah, USA definitely showing up with this match here and saying that we're not scared. You guys aren't scared. Both of these teams very evenly matched. Each map, they're definitely picking the maps that they know how to play. These losers picks are doing really well here for these teams. They know the maps that they're picking. They know what they want to run and they know exactly what they want to do.
The other thing about that though is when Lijiang Tower has been picked in every single team that we've seen today, it makes it so that everybody knows how to play on Lijiang Tower, so you don't necessarily have an advantage by picking something that is a little bit off meta like Nepal.
Right, I definitely agree with you there. And here we're going to see the second point of Lijiang Tower on this control point.
Arizona, clever trick moving in behind them all immediately. Let's see if this works out.
It looks like USC actually didn't expect that. They might have heard him. It looks like they were ready for that. They did come all the way around, but USA held them back very well. It looks like Agent Snow did drop dangerously low there. iProgress getting taken out, not GM getting very low.
That is a big problem because now every single USC player that they kill is now going to spawn behind Arizona. That's not a situation you want to be in, and we see that paying off right now. 3 characters falling for Arizona. USC immediately takes the point. Poor decision making.
Knows exactly what they are doing on this map. Arizona did try to outsmart them. It did a very good job at coming all the way around on that flank, but it looks like they were not sneaky enough. It looks like they were heard or seen.
I agree with you. Arizona may have to do something a bit more standard. I appreciate them trying to do something a bit off meta, but it's not working out. USC is too strong for that type of stuff. Solid Ghost immediately snipes iProgress for Arizona.
Yeah, finding iProgress there immediately is extremely well doing what they're doing, and let's see if Arizona is able to get a good push here.
I agree with you. Arizona is trying their best to move on to the point. It just doesn't seem to be enough. USC is doing absolutely everything as good as they can. Caden retains his hammer down as well as Dingpai's Coalescence ultimate.
And Arizona is going to have to push in here. It looks like Arizona does get a very key pick here on Caden. Caden, there is one down for USC. It looks like it is a 6v5. The beat dropping from Arizona.
Arizona moving on to the point really well. They have 5 contesting. However, Nemesis drops that Zarya ultimate and is doing ridiculous amounts of damage. 67% charge.
He is able to get 6 people in that Graviton Surge. Absolutely insane.
I agree with you. Arizona with a great retake at 55%. Arizona doing everything they can, even though they got Zarya ulted by Nemesis. Agent Snow was there to tank all of that damage with his Reinhardt shield.
That is correct. Arizona is able to take that point. Now, 55% to looks like 22% and climbing now. Let's see what USC has to answer about that push.
Arizona rapidly approaching the exact same percentage that USC is at, 30 to 55. iProgress black-shotting into the background.
Oh, Caden with a massive shatter.
I completely agree. Caden just picked up everybody from the entire team, and iProgress is cleaning up.
iProgress is doing a really good job of trying to take out Immortal. Unfortunately, Immortal is not able to get taken down there. Agent Snow still alive. He does have that Reinhardt ultimate. Let's see if he can find as good of a shatter as Caden had. Caden, unfortunately, USC is not able to push in on that.
Bunnyyo is trying his best right there to use the Coalescence ultimate as best as he can. However, not a single character for USC has fallen. USC retakes the point. 60%, and this Junkrat ultimate as well is going to halter Arizona State from moving in.
USC did a really good job at taking that point back. We saw Caden with the fattest shatter in the world.
The fattest shatter.
And Solid Ghost taking out Tierfing there. It looks like it's going to be 1 down for each team. It's going to be 5v5. Let's see if Arizona decides to push on that or if they're going to want to regroup.
Immortal has been on point with his tack visors all day long, and he has just barely got his tack visor as we speak, trying to get into position to utilize it at max efficiency. 85% for USC.
Let's see what iProgress is able to do. He's getting right there on the side of them, and it looks like not GM popping out that Roadhog ultimate and Agent Snow coming out with a shatter.
Double Earth Shatters countered. Both Zaryas using their ultimate. This is almost identical team compositions coming at each other. Arizona, I'm not quite sure who's taking it. Arizona is still contesting the point though. 5-1. It looks like USA may be getting pushed back.
Arizona did have the upper hand on that one. USC is going to have to push back on this one. It looks like it is a 99%.
99%.
It is most likely going to be a 99-99. We're going to see some overtime here. USC is going to want to push in onto this one. They want to clean 2-0 on this map. They want to get this one over. They don't want to risk it.
Immortal coming into a fantastic position to use his Tac Visor ultimate. He is aware that his team is moving in. He is trying to do as good a job as humanly possible of stalling this Arizona.
Yeah, and here we see Nemesis trying to get as much roll charge as possible. Immortal kind of flying in the air. No idea how he got up there. That break it down, saving his life.
I heard Immortal drop to such low HP. However, Caden takes out Agent Snow. Nemesis takes out Yugs. Immortal takes out not GM. USC with a near clean sweep on Arizona. They are forced to retreat, but they don't have time.
And here you see Arizona can't retreat on that one. Bunnyyo getting taken out and Tierfing getting taken out by Caden. Agent Snow is going to have to get on the point here immediately. Unfortunately, this overtime timer is going too fast for them. Lucio's not able to get on. It looks like it's going to be a 2-0 on this map, and USA is going to take this map.
Lijiang Tower going immediately over to USC. They knew what they were doing. Arizona not doing a very good job of stopping USC push with the exception of the second map. I think it's Control Center. Lijiang Control Center. They did as good a job as anyone could. We took it at 99%. It just wasn't enough. USC having fantastic team coordination. I've said it time and time before. These types of maps are completely isolated around team coordination. If you don't have the team working together, you're not going to do a very good job.
I agree with you on that one. You know, we saw both teams having really good pushes, having really good counter pushes. You know, I think we saw that go back and forth 3 or 4 times there, and that was a really amazing thing to see. And, you know, I'm just getting water here, sorry. And so it's really nice to see both teams doing a really, really good job at kind of, you know, pushing at each other. It was really nice to see Arizona, you know, show that they're not scared and they're not going to get tilted.
I definitely agree. USC just coming out incredibly powerful, incredibly strong. That, especially on the back of Immortal, Soldier 76, TAC Visor, Ultimate. He is so impressive with those. He has such good positioning every single time, and I think you can tell he's communicating with his team. He was up there on the high ground, hiding, waiting, knowing, hey, my team's moving on to their team's moving on to the point right now. All we have to do is get a little bit of CC, and I have a good opportunity to do some damage on the backline, and that is exactly what happened.
That is exactly what he did, and that's exactly what we wanted to see. You know, Immortal has very great positioning as Soldier. He has very great positioning just in general on all the characters he plays. And we just found out that the next map is going to be Dorado. We have not seen Dorado here anytime recently. As far as this week goes, we did see at least, I think, once last week. Yeah. But, you know, Dorado, definitely a really interesting full payload map.
My favorite full payload map, without a doubt. Dorado is amazing to play on because there's so many things that can happen on it, specifically on that first point. It's characterized by this bridge that people can go through, and at the same time, it's a strong chokehold underneath it, so you can have flankers going above. Usually flankers go to the left and the right, and this one you flank from the top. That is not seen on almost any other map.
Yeah, definitely really interesting to see how exactly those flanks work. Also, we're going to have to see if either team decides to run Widowmaker. It's definitely kind of a talk here within all of these games to see whether or not the teams decide to run Widowmakers on these maps. Definitely have to have really key positioning as a Widowmaker, especially on Dorado, because it is very open. You do have I mean, your sight lines, you have direct sight of everyone, but everyone has direct sight of you as well.
Exactly. It has such long line of sight on this map just because it's so straight, it's so linear. But that just means on the counter, the opposite team's Widowmaker can see you just as easily as you can see them. So you have to really take advantage of walls, you have to take advantage of corners and stuff like that, and just find as many good opportunities as you can to snipe supports, because that is your job ultimately as Widowmaker.
I agree with you on that. You need as much cover as you can, and you definitely need to get those supports first, because if you, I mean, even if you get the first Widowmaker pick, as far as defense goes, that attack is still going to be able to push. You know, they don't need that Widowmaker. If they set up on the payload, they're already good to go. You want to make sure you can get the supports so you can get onto the payload and you know, kind of hold it where it needs to go and not have it push any farther.
The other thing on that note is, as I mentioned before, this map is very top down rather than left and right. You can't necessarily run bastions because you can have your shields right there. Widowmaker can see above the shield and snipe you down. I don't expect to see Bastion being played on offense for this payload map.
Yeah, and if we do see a Bastion, do expect Orisa to kind of have that curved shield. Yeah. We're going to go ahead and go into a quick overview of this map real quick.
Let's see if we can get a quick look of that bridge that we're talking about. Dorado, right here, here's that first point, going to be those circular maps with the high ground. There it is. There's the bridge right there that we're talking about with that ramp through the middle that completely favors Widowmaker players.
Yeah, that's a nice little hover bike there. That's the moped that I want in my life. Good moped. Good moped. You see, definitely really interesting team comps coming out from either team. USC, it looks like they are going to be the defending team with that Torbjorn.
Torbjorn, definitely an interesting pick. I mentioned before how static characters are not necessarily favored on this map. Immortal running that fabled Soldier 76 and doing amazing amounts of damage onto Arizona.
And I really don't know exactly what's going on here. Arizona opted to full dive onto the team instead of pushing their payload. You can not do that. That is never going to pass. That is not acceptable.
Exactly. The thing with that is even if you are capable of killing the entire team, which isn't going to happen, they're the defense. They're already set up in a perfect position. You're not going to break that with anything. Even if you do break it, what's the point? The payload's not moving. It's irrelevant.
That is correct. They lost a lot of distance that they could have been getting as far as that push goes. They have finally actually pushed it around the corner. This is when you want to be diving on.
Exactly. A little bit of mistiming there there from Arizona, or just poor decision-making in general. Immortal trying to put damage into Winston's shield, and it's doing a very good job of stalling this Arizona progress. Agent Snow falls down, as I was saying.
All right, there we go. That Torbjorn turret definitely wasn't not as getting as much damage off as it could have been. Progress on that Tracer, doing a really good job. Immortal, unfortunately, still taking out a majority of the team, and there we go. Immortal finally falling. Kangbang taking out.
Progress actually getting sleep darted by Ding Pai and immediately taken out as well. Amazing, amazing job from USC. They're not letting Arizona push, but even though, in spite of that though, Arizona is doing as good a job as anyone can.
And Arizona is doing as much as possible. But like I said, they could have pushed this payload a lot farther had they started that initial push, having somebody on the payload.
They actually broke the bridge, which is almost impossible to do. But did she just recall while she was sleep darted?
I think she got woken up immediately
possibly,
after. So
possibly.
that is why we saw that.
Yeah,
recall.
I was like, you can't recall when sleep darted. When did that happen? I've been missing out. Nemesis holding his whole hog ultimate in a fantastic position to drop behind and use it.
Oh, finding a fantastic hook there on Not GM, getting very low. Definitely going to scare him to death there a little bit. And it looks like that payload is actually pushing back under the bridge again. It looks like they're in a really bad position here to be pushing the payload again. They let it go too far back.
Not GM uses his ultimate right there and immediately pops Agent Snow's shield.
Yeah, and it's really interesting. USC is going to have a really nice defense here. It looks like we have 4 ultimates coming in, 5 ultimates here coming in from USC.
Progress has 1 HP when Sound Barrier comes in to save his life. No characters have fallen for either team. This is just back and forth. Agent Snow being the first person to fall to Immortal and Orza.
And it looks like Arizona is going to have to push back on this fight. Looks like they did not get this fight very correctly. Solid Ghost, his turret, getting picks.
USC finally comes out on top on that intense back and forth fight between these two incredibly close match teams. Arizona not being able to do enough. They got picked off, they got separated, they got isolated. It looks like USC is going to be retaining as well 2 ultimates on Kaden and Immortal, whereas only Not GM for Arizona has his.
Oh, Solid Ghost, poor little turret getting destroyed there. It looks like he's going to have to replace that.
I agree. Progress switching back onto this Barmercy comp with Yugs on Mercy. He's actually doing a great job of moving into this backline, and he immediately takes out that Torbjorn turret, countered by Immortal's Tac Visor.
The Tac Visor, unfortunately, getting kind of countered because he was not a good position for the line of sight there on the fair. As soon as she dropped, she was able to get out of the sight of that Tac Visor. Immortal getting really low and fortunately able to escape.
Amazing reaction by Arizona, not allowing Immortal to use get any picks with his Tac Visor ultimate right there. Agent Snow takes out Kangbang.
And here we see USC coming in with all the ultimates that they are able to do for this defense, and Arizona as well, about to pop all the ultimates. They have 15 seconds left on this push. They want to get this first checkpoint.
USC definitely dominating that, but instead Arizona counters and does some amazing pick on the back of Progress. They're actually pushing the point. 3 seconds left and just a couple feet till the end.
Solid Ghost actually going really hard, smacking everybody with his Molten Core hammer, actually able to get Not GM his tire and Junkrat himself.
This is insane. I have never seen a Torbjorn used like that in the backline. Whacking people with a hammer and Molten Core, that does some amazing amounts of damage. It just wasn't enough. Arizona retains 4 ultimates, and they're moving the payload.
Yeah, Arizona did a very good job at getting that first checkpoint there. Let's see how they do with the second checkpoint. They're going to have 2 minutes on it. Immortal taking that high ground.
4 ultimates to none, though. This is going to allow Arizona and give them an opportunity to push on. I don't think USC is going to be able to stop it with only a sound barrier. Looks like Ding Pai is rapidly approaching his nano boost, but what target is he going to give it to? Immortal doesn't have his Tac Visor.
Yeah, Immortal doesn't have the Tac Visor, and Solid Ghost also doesn't have that high noon for that that fast charge. But that double hit scan.
Woo! Progress immediately slaughtering Immortal and Solid Ghost. That's every single DPS player for USC.
It looks like Arizona is going to be able to push on this one. USC is down 2 DPS players. They're going to have to defend with just tanks.
I don't think they're going to be able to do it. Arizona rapidly approaching the final point. Kaden getting sucked up in that Zara ulti, and Progress putting ridiculous amounts of damage. Ding Pai doing his best to counter.
Yeah, Ding Pai and Kaden doing their best to kind of stay alive there, do the best to hold that point. Unfortunately, they're not able to, and they're going to be able to push onto the second point. Again, 2 minutes and 45 seconds left.
After an overtime first point push, they have actually made it past the second. They have 2.5 minutes to take this third, and it is pretty close.
Oh, and Immortal getting knocked off the high ground. iProgress making sure that Immortal doesn't get that high ground. That Tac Visor is ready. He's going to look for that Mercy.
He immediately targets down that Mercy, and it looks like he gets Agent Snow down incredibly low as well. He gets 3 kills, a clean sweep from USC. Only Tyrefing survives barely with his life, and Immortal overextending just a little bit, but comes on back.
Tyrefing needs to be running away. That is a
we
stagger
go.
that they do not want. That is a good 6 seconds that they're going to lose as far as regrouping goes.
They did their best to try and stagger that. Amazing call there, Zader. I thought they were just going to let Tyrefing get away. No, they let Tyrefing live, like, oh, go back, send the message, and then kill them. So now they have to wait for Tyrefing to come back since that is the tank.
And again, that is a long walk back, especially when you have pushed your payload a little bit farther past that checkpoint.
Arizona trying their best to get back onto it. It looks like iProgress and NotGM and Bunnyyo all have their ultimates. They're taking this high ground and trying to use the most of Reinhardt's shield.
You know, iProgress getting really far in the back lane, and Solid goes with a solid high noon. Solid.
USC with a 4 kill counter. Arizona tried their best to push in. However, iProgress does retain that Rocket Barrage ultimate.
Looks like they're gonna go ahead and stagger these remaining teammates once more. Bunnyyo actually deciding to jump off the edge in an effort to not get staggered nearly as much.
Arizona only has 1 minute and 10 seconds left. iProgress and Bunnyyo, the only 2 ultimates. However, Tyrefing and Agent Snow are rapidly approaching 100%. That's going to be some nasty combos if they can pull that off.
It will be absolutely intense to see exactly what Arizona decides with their final minute here and with their ultimates. Tyrefing, like you said, getting that ultimate up very soon. And here we see Caden jumping in as Winston, getting it directly into the back lane, doing so much damage.
Popping that Primal Rage, immediately taking out NotGM and separating iProgress from the rest of his team. Coalescence coming out for Bunnyyo, but that's not the situation where he needs it. iProgress finally using his Rocket Barrage and eliminates Immortal and Ding Pai.
Unfortunately, Solid Ghost is still alive. He's going to be able to take out iProgress with the help of Caden as Winston. And it looks like Agent Snow is going to get a little bit staggered
1
here.
HP.
1 HP. Actually is able to take out Tank.
1
here.
HP.
He's 1 HP. Please just kill him. Melee him. Do something. He is 1 HP. He needs to die. How did he not die?
Agent Snow, 1 HP, is going to solo push this payload to hopefully victory. They've got 5 seconds left and they're turning that last corner. USC, they have to trickle in.
That was extremely unfortunate, not getting the pick on Agent Snow, letting him get all of those picks on his own. Immortal taking the high ground, hopefully going to get his ultimate here. Maybe he's going to have to try to find something.
Oh, Zarya ultimate popping up from Tyrefing. iProgress is rapidly approaching his ultimate as well. Tac Visor coming out from Immortal. Not really able to do very much as no characters have fallen for Arizona.
And here we see Immortal doing a really good job. Almost able to kick out Yugs. Yugs is living by his sliver, able to get the self-regeneration. Nemesis looking for as many hooks as he can. Gets Yugs.
Nemesis with a great hook. Arizona is falling like flies. 4 people have dropped. Bunnyyo as well. Tyrefing, and it's a sextuple kill. USC finally able to stop that push from Arizona. They got so close.
That was an absolutely amazing push there. Final push from Arizona. You know, that Reinhardt, Agent Snow, that's what it was. He was living with 1 HP. He soloed a Roadhog. He soloed a Moira. He soloed Diana. I don't even know what he was doing. He was just killing everything.
He didn't want to lose. You could definitely tell that all of Arizona was trying their best to start that payload moving again. USC, however, having Immortal get that Tac Visor ultimate. But the thing that I noticed is Mercy was diving by. When you shoot your Helix rocket in Tac Visor mode, that also gets benefit from the Tac Visor. Mercy went out of range until the Helix rocket went down, hit the ground, and he got himself down to 50 HP, and he forced himself to retreat.
That is correct, and you know, it was really unfortunate to see Immortal kind of fall so low there. If he wouldn't have used that, you know, that Helix rocket with that Tac Visor on, he would have lived a little bit longer, and he would have had a little bit better of a push.
Kind of a moot point though, because he was still capable of dealing the damage that he needed to, just not as quickly as he needed to, because of the Tac Visor being such a bit of a blunder. He had to go back and get health rather than using it for the full duration.
That is correct. But, you know, absolutely amazing push there from Arizona. Definitely going to be interesting to see what USC decides to push with here as they are going to be on the attack side here. here for this round of the match. But USC definitely going to have to. They don't have to push the full amount. They do we're not going to run into overtime. If they win that, they're going to win this map and they're going to go 3-1. And this is what we want to see. We want to see 3-1s. We want to see 2-2s. If it does end up going 2-2, we will play a 5th map.
I agree. Yeah. The thing is that was still an incredible push from Arizona. They got it within just a couple meters of the final, 71%. That is going to be very, very hard to push for USC, but I think they're going to be capable.
Solid Ghost doing a really good job spreading everybody out from that shield, getting a really good position here. Great line of sight.
Solid Ghost shooting that pulse disruption shot to try and separate Arizona's defense, and then dealing damage in the background is Immortal slaughtering Not GM.
Yeah, you know, Immortal doing a really good job as everyone's really focused on Solid Ghost there as Farah. Immortal is going to come up and around, up on top on the high ground. It looks like they're going to get this payload pushed through the bridge flawlessly. They didn't have really much effort there.
That is the hardest point to take of this first push.
Oh, and a direct hit on Ana.
Yeah, Solid Ghost just took out the back line of Arizona. They're going to be able to push this really, really simply.
And here we see Solid Ghost nearing that ultimate as Farah. He's needing healing. He's spamming it. I can hear it. He needs healing.
He dropped down to about 50 HP there when he finally got the pocket heal from King Bang GG.
And, you know, it's definitely going to be Immortal taking a very, very good position here on top of the church, making sure that he can have a better position on this iProgress as a Widowmaker. And it looks like nobody knows that he's there. The Rocket Barrage coming out directly onto iProgress and Yugs.
They had no idea that he was there. They had no idea that he was there, and he was able to relay the information. Hey, I see iProgress on Widowmaker and Yugs up here on Mercy, and they are isolated. Farah jumping up on that right side and blind rocket barraging, knowing that they would be there. Fantastic play from USC. That's team synergy at its finest.
The communication from this team is absolutely amazing. iProgress doing his best to try to take out this Solid Ghost right now. Unfortunately, not able to land headshots, and this Farah Mercy composition is really just ruining him right now. He's not able to deal enough damage.
iProgress trying his best to get headshots. It's not working out too well, though. It looks like Solid Ghost is doing as good a job as any. Immortal with a cross-map headshot. That is incredibly difficult to do.
Yeah, you know, iProgress definitely needs a different answer for this Farah. They need a soldier. They need hit scan. They need something that's not Widowmaker. They need to deal consistent damage. Ding Pai coming in with the Coalescence and taking out half of Arizona's team.
Arizona dropping. They are incapable of stopping this USC push. It looks like USC is going to go ahead and take that second point with 5.5 minutes left to go. That is so much time to make mistakes, to make the right decisions as well.
Immortal getting a really good position there up on the high ground. Able to pull the team out, separate him a little bit. Immortal getting really low, able to get a lot of heals, having that healing pot on the ground and the mortar ball. And Solid Ghost getting an extremely good ultimate there, and getting Yugs and Terrifying.
Shooting his rocket barrage right down that corridor and doing godly amounts of damage. Solid Ghost is raining terror on the backline of Arizona, and he gets a pick off on iProgress, helped by Nemesis.
Solid Ghost Farah is absolutely popping off right now. Immortal still holding that tactical visor ultimate. He still has it. He knows when he needs to use it. He knows that Solid Ghost has a better ultimate chance. He's going to get on high ground. Let's see what he's able to do.
Right there, we see the Nemesis popping that Zarya Graviton Surge. However, Tirefing is doing as well a job as any to try and counter that. USC is stalled for the moment. Just a couple more inches, and they're going to take that point.
Oh, and Caden coming in from the back with a huge hammer down behind the shield, getting almost all of Arizona's team. Caden with a brilliant positioning. That is going to win them this point. That was absolutely amazing play. I didn't even see where that Reinhardt came from, but he did an absolutely amazing job. I hope that's play of the game because I want to see that one more time.
That was crispy from Caden. Comes in front and gets a fantastic Earth Shatter. No, it's going to be Solid Ghost probably with that Rocket Barrage down the corridor. Always goes to the DPS.
Solid Ghost stealing the thunder on that.
It's going to be... Okay, yeah, I remember this one. She just did a fantastic job coupled with Ding Pai's Mora's Coalescence and just picked everybody off in the backline and really didn't allow Arizona to recuperate, didn't allow Arizona to regroup, and they just pushed it on to the third point.
Yeah, you know, it's definitely really interesting to see exactly why Solid Ghost got to play the game there. I don't really think, I think there was a lot better, but you know, honestly, that last push, that, you know, Caden's push, that hammer down behind the Orisa shield was perfect. He got exactly where he needed to be, and I think he got 3 or 4 players in that one on the point.
That comes down to a lack of communication, though. Arizona, maybe they just didn't know that Reinhardt was back there. He was closer to their spawn than he was to his own team. In every sense of the word, he was overextended. He was isolated, but he kind of, I think he just moved into the right, and then the rest of the team went down into the circle, and then he came out and used the Earthshock and nabbed all of them. That was great pick from a sneaky Reinhardt.
Right, and USA is going to take that match 3-1. Arizona definitely showing that they are a very good team, though. You know, having that 3-1, it was almost 2-2. They they did their best there on I believe it was Lijiang Tower. That was the map that they ended up actually taking, and they did a really good job. In Arizona and USC, very evenly matched teams. Unfortunately, USC did have
On top.
a little bit better of plays there as far as that map on Dorado goes.
It seems to me like USC is just flawless with their team synergy, their team coordination. By far, they are the most well-oiled team when it comes to working together. They're calling out picks. They're calling out locations. They're calling out who's isolated, who's not. They're making opportunities for their team, and then they have the coordination and the synergy to capitalize on it. They're not playing solo queue Overwatch.
That is correct, and solo queue Overwatch is not fun to play.
No.
You're playing a team game, and that is what Overwatch is. It is a very, they stress the emphasis on a team game, and that is why when you see better communication, you see better grouping, and you see, just better team synergy. Everyone knows each other, everyone loves each other, everyone wants to work with each other, and that's why USC came out on top. They had more communication as far as Caden coming around that corner, or Solid Ghost getting that blind Pharaoh ultimate, jumping up very, immediately catching eye progress and the Mercy off guard.
Yeah, that's a fantastic explanation as to what we're talking about when it comes to team coordination. As Farah, when you're jumping up into a situation like that, you're going to be looking at the payload. You're going to be trying to stall people. If a Widowmaker's right there and you jump up in front, Widowmaker's just going to shoot you in the head and you're dead. But that Farah knew that there were two incredibly crucial characters just sitting there isolated, which in a normal situation they would have been capable of doing. But Immortal was able to sneak behind using crouch. You don't make sound when you crouch, so he was able to sneak up behind him and be like, hey, Farah, you've got ultimate. There's 2 people right here. I don't need to use mine. You can just pop off, do what you need to do, and that is exactly what happened. USC, amazing team synergy.
Yeah, amazing team synergy from USC. This is what I want Oregon to do. This is what
Exactly.
I want. This is what I want these a little bit of underdog teams to be able to do. This wasn't the most amazing match. Actually, that way, if we've seen today, it was very intense. Everything that we needed to do. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're going to go ahead into a 10-minute break.
Yeah, we will be right back with the final matchup between these 2 teams, USC and...
I don't believe it's USC. I can't remember the 2 teams, but we will get right back to you as far as that goes. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Stay tuned.
To become sin. If you're gonna cut me